Hey kids, Grandpa here. In this episode we're going to sail out of the seas of Mordorr and around into Aialik Bay over to Paradise Cove. Be sure to stay tuned to the end. You'll see some of the fish that we catch and see just how beautiful some spots are here in Alaska. It's really cool. Here's the video. Look at this wild looking place I gotta go into. Tell me that looked like Mordorr or something out of Harry Potter, huh? That fog all rolling in. That's the direction I gotta head. So here we go. Kind of spectacular the way the waves crash in here. Big eruptions like that. Kind of rough out here, hard to hold steady. This is the mouth of the cove we're going to go into. First we got to go around this big island here. I don't want to cut through the middle there because, well, I'm chicken and it might run too shallow in there. I like staying out a couple hundred feet of water. So even though it might be faster for me just to duck right through there, I think I'm wiser to go around. Well, we're back here in Aialik Bay. A-I-A-L-I-C-K, Aialik Bay, making our way over to our anchorage for this evening. But you can see we're back in here away from the ocean. No more rollers, no more wave action. Fairly protected. Interesting that there's these big cracks in the rocks like you can see there. I've seen a couple of those coming in here. We're going to go around this point to the right and then pull up into there into an anchorage called Paradise Bay. There we go. We're going to go around inside there and pull into Paradise Bay. That's going to be our anchorage for a couple nights. I think we're going to be in there for 2 nights at least, maybe 3. And then I want to move over to another anchorage over on the other side just to check it out. Do a little fishing in that cove, a little shrimping in that cove. But I also, if we can run up here, we can get pretty close to a glacier. So I thought it might be cool to go up in there, especially to do a water sample for the plastic study. Get a water sample in close to the glacier melt. See if that old water is any cleaner than the new water. Or the old water. The new water. I guess that's the oldest water. See if that old water would be any, you know what I mean. Little view of Aialik Bay. I think right up in there is where that glacier is. We're going to go find out. Right now we're pulling into this little cove. We're going to go around that point there and into that little cove. That's where we're going to stay for a night or 2. I'll get some more once I'm there. Hey. So, here we are in the cove. It is just beautiful. Just beautiful. Let me show you a little bit of this cove here. And you can see how close I am to shore. Being this close to shore, only in about 70 feet of water, and yet I'm that close to shore. Probably only 150 feet from shore, but in 70 feet of water. So once again, a lot of chain, a lot of scope out. Typical for Alaska, but just a beautiful spot here. Just reverent, you know, church-like. You can hear the waves gently splashing the rocks over here. It sounds nice, quiet. I'm the only boat here. You can see that. There's no other boat anywhere in this anchorage. Maybe later on in the season that's going to change, but right now I'm the only boat here. It took, let's see, I was at the hardware store buying myself a new rod. I have a nice reel, and I was just tired of this old clunky rod that I had for it, so I went and bought a new rod for my Penn Senator reel. Anyhow, I picked up some stuff, but I was in the store there at 9:45. Drove back to the boat, got the engine started, got things put away, organized a little bit, undid the lines, backed out, drove over to the fuel dock, got fuel, 6 gallons, which, you know, isn't very much considering how much motoring I've been doing. I've been doing a lot of motoring. I would have thought I was going to be a lot more than 6 gallons, but just 6 gallons so far. And, oh, I bought a gas can. I bought a 5-gallon diesel can and a 2-gallon gasoline can for the outboard for the dinghy, which I might try putting in tomorrow and playing with a little bit here. I'm cautious because I don't want to fall in this remote, and I'm not sure the ladder is going to hold me yet. So if I were to fall in here, it might be a problem. Of course, I could always swim over to shore, climb back in the dinghy, and then motor back out here, and then I don't know. We'll see. But anyhow, so we left there at, I'm going to say 11. I'm going to say we left at 11. We left at 11. We motored till 3:30. That's what time it took us to get here. We got here about 3:30, maybe 4 o'clock. By the time I got the anchor down, it was 4 o'clock. And now it's about 6:30. I fed Miss Lily. I forgot to buy dog food. Crap. Fortunately, I've got a great big box of dog bones and some chicken strips. Big bag of chicken strips. So she's going to eat dog bones and chicken strips for a couple days. That and fish. She likes my baked fish, so maybe I'll just feed her some fish. But my week-long trip may only be a 3-day trip because I'll be out of dog food for the dog. So we'll see. Stupid me. Went back in specifically. Went back in to buy dog food. Ended up buying potatoes and onions and stuff that I didn't really need and forgot the dog food. So anyhow, so we motored from 11 till, say, 4. Let's give us that much. So that was 5 hours of motoring, and we came all the way out Thumb Cove, around the point, and up into this cove. And this is called, what is it called? This one's got a, hold on a minute, I gotta switch hands. Got my cell phone set to do the fingerprint thing, but it's got to be the right finger. Okay, let's see. We are on the Cape Resurrection to Two Arm Bay, Paradise Cove. We're in Paradise Cove. I don't know if you can see that, but we're in Paradise Cove. And it shows a little spot where we're anchored down. This is showing the depth of here being 45, 38, 38, 13, 38, 39. Yeah, bullshit. Put a 0 after each one of those. Maybe it's fathoms. Maybe all those measurements are fathoms, because that's the only thing that makes sense, because we're nowhere near those depths. But anyhow, this is Paradise Cove, which is off of Three Hole Bay, which is the bay out over there. 3 holes, because there's 3 different little places to anchorage, I guess, in here. And all of this is on Aialik Bay. Aialik Bay, which is one bay west of Resurrection Bay on the coast of Alaska. So, pretty cool spot. You know, it's interesting. I'm finding that Alaska has got a lot of these great little anchorages, and surprisingly, Seward doesn't have nearly as many as, say, Whittier would. But still, nonetheless, there's you know, a lot of these little anchorages and stuff. I mean, this is almost reminiscent of like the BVI, the British Virgin Islands, where we go cruising down there. There's all these different anchorages and places to go cruising to, albeit crowded. Very rare that you would ever have an anchorage to yourself, which is up here in Alaska. That, you know, it's really nice because it's really quiet and we have the entire anchorage to ourselves. I mean, there's nobody else here, which is really cool. But the trade-off is that the water's too cold to swim here. I'm just not getting in 50-degree water. I'm not even sure it is 50-degree water. But it's cold. It's very cold water, and I'm not going to go swimming in that. So, and that's my big motivation of trying to head south. I want to get south someplace where I've got warmer water to swim in. Otherwise, you know, if it wasn't for the swimming aspect, up here in Alaska, and, you know, a lot of people cruise and sail, you know, southeast Alaska, but, you know, we're south central Alaska up here, and man, this is awesome. I mean, it was blowing a hoolie out there with big rollers out in the ocean, and in here it's just like glass. It's perfectly calm. The only reason the boat's moving is because I'm moving. Fishing's good. I just put a rod in and caught another rockfish a minute ago. So, I don't know if you can see him. He's in there on ice. See if I can turn this around so you can see him. Hey, there's a rockfish I caught. Actually, I caught a few rockfish. I caught a bunch of them, but he's the only one I kept because I only need one for dinner. And, you know, the whole idea of trying to be cautious and careful with our resources. Now, apparently there's a bunch of these rockfish up here. I have caught and tossed back a dozen more. I kept him. He was the largest. He was also the first one I caught, and he was really big. The rest of them after him were all a little bit smaller. But he's just perfect eating size. Just perfect. I'll get a couple nice fillets off of him, put them on the grill. I think I'm going to grill him with some, let's see, maybe some Brussels sprouts on the grill. I got Brussels sprouts, asparagus, corn. I like all those things on the grill. So I don't know. But anyhow, I really like cruising up here in Alaska. The cruising ground is really nice. It seems to be very clean. I don't see any trash littering around. I was really dismayed to see some plastic floating in the ocean when I was driving, coming up around the point in the Pacific. Seen some water bottles and stuff. Unfortunately, I couldn't get close enough to them to grab them, but and frankly, my boat's not big enough to clean up all the garbage, but normally if it's close enough, I use the net and scoop it up. But it's clean, and it's quiet, and the fishing's good, and the fish are good to eat. Plenty of them. Not a, effort or a problem there to over harvesting. Of course, I'm a firm advocate that a single guy out on a boat by himself, a single man catching fish for himself, is not going to deplete the resources. Not everybody in the world is going to run out here and catch their own fish. My issue is with the techniques that some of the commercial fishermen use and the amount that they harvest. I mean, it just, they drag nets in the ocean and just scoop up everything and tear up all the habitat, and that's got to stop. That's just got to stop. And the longliners who are so indiscriminate, you know, they're catching some of the fish that they want, but then they end up with a lot of bycatch, things that they didn't want to catch that they catch anyway, and that's just not, that's not cool. You know, I guess what I'm thinking is, if you know, if you want to live inland, if you want to live in the Midwest or whatever, and you want to eat saltwater fish, then take a trip to the ocean and rent a boat or go out on a charter and catch some fish and bring them home for you. You know, this whole thing of people going and just going to the supermarket and expect to be able to buy swordfish and shrimp and crab and everything every day, is, we're paying too high a price for that. We're just paying too high a price. Especially when it's disturbing and destroying places like this. I mean, this is just incredible. If the water was warm here, I wouldn't be highly motivated to go anywhere else around the world. Yeah, I still want to go around the world. But man, I mean, from a cruiser standpoint, this is cool. 4 or 5 hour motor, had the motor because the wind was in the wrong direction. But still, 4 or 5 hours, even at the motor. And keep in mind, I'm doing 6 knots, 5-6 knots, you know, so we're talking traveling at, I'll put it in lay terms, 7 miles an hour. People, well, horses walk at 4 miles an hour. So I'm traveling just slightly faster than the pace of a horse walking. Not very fast, you know. I don't know, can people run 7 miles an hour? I don't know. I don't know how fast people run or how fast people walk. I know 7 miles an hour, or in my case 5-6 knots, is not very fast. It's slow. It takes a long time for stuff to go by. But that's all I need. And with all the motoring I've done the last 2 trips that I was out, I only burned 6 gallons of diesel, which I was surprised I burned that much, and I'm only motoring. I haven't had the wind yet where I can sail. I mean, look at this. Look at this. There's no wind. There's no wind. You can't sail in this stuff. So now, once I'm cruising, once I'm traveling, if I end up in a place like this and there's no wind, well, then I just sit and wait for the wind. If I'm there for 30 days, and I'm there for 30 days waiting for the wind. Waiting for the seasons. When you're sailing and cruising, it's all about the seasons. You got to be at the right place at the right time to catch the right winds so that they're heading in the right direction, with little risk of there being any big storms or hurricanes or stuff. So anyhow, this is getting long. I just thought I would show you around here a little bit in this anchorage. It's just wow, 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 wow. Nope, I got a fish to fillet. So time for dinner. Later, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed that little view of Paradise Cove. In the next episode, we're going to do some more fishing, and then we're going to go see a glacier after that, which will be pretty cool. If you like this kind of thing, please do like and subscribe, and we'll catch you tomorrow. Bye, guys. Be sure to stay tuned to the end. You'll see how beautiful Paradise Bay is, and some of the